targeters will be the person's temple, behind their ear, neck, button on the side of the chin, even to the ear, where it will affect their equilibriums. So those are their targets. The punching range for the hook is different from the jab and the cross. It's almost like you're cutting your arm in half. So the jab and cross range are more like a one arm's reach away. The hook is more like half of the person's arm. So the lead high tight hook looks like this. Just turning it over, keeping it nice and tight. Or from the side. Lead high tight. The steps to it. First of all, we start with our footwork. You're going to plant your back foot as the front foot pivots, and they're working simultaneously. So if my back foot, if we had that 1 to 2 o'clock position, we turn to a 3 o'clock position where it'd be facing directly right. And on your front foot, your heel is going to lift, and you're going to pivot as far as you can. You want to think on your pivot, as it comes through, your left hip is going to be further to the right than your right hip initially was. So your right hip's further to the right now. As you pivot, your left hip will then replace it. So we're getting all that good hip torque, really strong leg drive. Again, the biggest, strongest muscle in our body. We want to incorporate that even in our arm punches. So the footwork again will go from 1 to 2 o'clock angle to the 3 as the front foot heel lifts and pivots. So we get all that good hip torque and leg power. Arm motion. It's almost like you're turning over a steering wheel. So your elbow is going to replace your hand or your fist. So as my fist turns over going to the punch, the elbow is then going to replace it. And when you finish this particular hook, the elbow is going to be in line with the fist to help that go through the target. So as I turn my hand over and replace it with my elbow, again, like a steering wheel motion. When I finish this technique, when I'm just doing it in the air, doing it in the mirror, you want to look and be able to see that your chin's tucked into your shoulder for protection, and you're looking out over the top of the muscle in your forearm. And when you do this in the mirror, or just in the air, you want to think that you're throwing a lead high tight hook, lead high being high to the head, to somebody that's the same height as you, just as a basic beginning development. So as I turn this hook over, at my head level, chin's buried in my front shoulder, looking up over the muscle in my forearm. So my arm's not down here or extended up here, right here. And I have a good 90-degree angle inside of my elbow. I'm not bringing it back like this where it's starting to turn into more of my forearms going to hit the target. And from now I'm not extending it out here. That's more of a loose hook past that 90 degrees. So a good tight hook is right in here, 90 degrees inside your elbow. With your fist position configuration, you can either have what we call a vertical fist or a horizontal fist. It's taught both ways. You can mess around with both and see what's most comfortable for you. Again, vertical or horizontal for your hand configuration. So again, as I pivot my feet, plant the back foot, pivot the front foot, 90 degrees inside my elbow, chin buried my shoulder, looking out over my forearm, vertical or horizontal fist, and my punch will be extending this way. Okay? And of course, anytime I'm punching with one hand, my opposite hand is going to be up in my temple for protection. So remember, anytime you're throwing a strike or on an offensive attack or thinking offense, you got to be aware of your defense as well and have protection. So slight bend in both knees, pivot motion, arm turns over, chin is buried, protection right here. This is a lead high hook. So just turning it over. Okay. From the side, just turning over. And it's all about the leg drive. It's a short range of motion. But power comes because of its proximity to your body. It's nice and tight, close to your body. Okay. So again, good hip turn, good power on the punches from the legs. And just turning it over for your lead high hook technique. Again, targets will be temple, behind ear, on the ear even, neck, carotid artery, or button on the side of the chin for your lead high hook. A couple of variations really quickly is your rear high hook, very similar. Just turn it over. Anytime you throw this tight body hook, or hook to the body, all you gotta do is the same technique, you just lower your level by bending your knees. So I can lower my level and bend my knees. That's a lead body hook or the rear body hook. And just turning it over. On the rear hooks, you just rotate your back foot, similar to what you've done when we showed the rear hand cross. So you pivot like you're throwing a cross. or swinging a baseball bat. Pivot on the back leg. So you have your lead tight hook, high hook. You also have the rear, lead body, or rear body. A couple different ways you can work the hook motion on the pads, the focus mitts. And a couple combinations you can play around with to start to develop this technique within a combination. So number one will be just developing the hook on the pads and using the focus mitts. So number one, I just put the pad up, and when I put the pad up, it's coming right off of my shoulder angle. And then I'm going to extend my arm about 135 degrees closer to him so the hook stays tight for him. So just throwing the hook. And getting the rotation, hands are high with the exhale. You see from the back, you can watch the motion. And from the other side. Again, the elbows in line with the fist and turning it over, all with the leg drive. A couple different combinations you can train with this hook. First one will be a cross hook cross. So it's working 3 count combinations. So cross across. You can work a hook cross hook. 3 count combination, hook cross hook. And you can work it off the uppercut. So an uppercut, hook cross. Three different combinations you can work that lead high tight hook with within the combination.